What it does do is it brings that trigger, no pun intended, the trigger smell of the garlic in there. So now I've got my liquid booster and invariably it smells of garlic. Now then, I want to talk a little bit now about liquids and attractive liquids. And what does that mean in real sense? Well, what it basically means is latterly I've been known as the Trigger Iceman, and all the offshoots such as the liquid boosters, dedicated liquid boosters, the Arduckers, the corky wafters, the pop-ups, all of the range of Trigger Ice. But as I've alluded to quite a few times, I do quite a bit of prep work, and you'll see various people in the Nutrabaits team talk about their nuances. Some people like to add rock salt and lake water and soften the baits. Well, I have a particular procedure that I go through, and I want to quickly run through the next 2 or 3 minutes little procedures that I do which to me keep the fish coming. And first thing I would say is that I love the Trigger Ice activators. The liquid foods in essence are what I call them. Yes, they're activators now because they dissipate a little bit more, so you get more of a cloudy effect than you did with just the straightforward liquid food boosters. And these have been out now, I think it's the 2nd year, so I've got used to using them a lot more than I did the liquid boosters because I like that little bit of a cloud that they give off the bottom. And this primarily for me is an additive to our bog standard boilies. And one thing which is important, which I keep reiterating, is that because we steam our baits at a lower temperature than a boiling point, it means that you don't denurture the goodness that's in there. And although it's only 20 degrees difference between the boil and the steam, that makes a massive difference. And I tell you, the other area that it's made a massive difference to is the absorption rate. And what I've found, straight out of the bag, the liquids will be absorbed 20% more than a likewise boiler that's been boiled. So steamed baits that Nutrabaits use absorb a lot more liquid. So what I will tend to do is I will use a 5 kilo bag, and I'll use about half a bottle. I think they come in, yeah, they're in 500 milliliter bottles. So 250 milliliters is about enough to soak 5 kilos. And I normally do that, and they will last about, it'll take to be prepared about 24 hours. So 24 hours before I go, 5 kilo bag in a black bucket, and I put the liquid booster in 250 milliliters. To that I've also added the fabled garlic essential oil. And what I do there is quite straightforward. I would simply open the lid just about, take the top off, and we go. There we go. I tend to keep it on, which will be revealed in a minute. Get my garlic essential oil. God blimey, I can smell it already. All like that. And I would put 5 drops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in there. Don't forget, squeeze it back on, lid back on, you don't want it absorbing. If you smell that coming off, put that lid back on there and do the old shake and vac. And that basically, because you've got an essential oil going into a liquid, you're never going to get, even with an emulsifier, you're never going to get it completely being all over the 500 mils. It won't, but what it does do is it brings that trigger, no pun intended, the trigger smell of the garlic in there. So now I've got my liquid booster, and invariably it smells of garlic. So that's the mainstay from a loose feed. Now, just finally rounding up, what I do with the garlic, because I want to uniformly that to be a food register with all my baits, so that's my loose feed, my liquids and my hook baits, is I put them into things. I also put the garlic drops into the amino complexes. Now the amino complexes are always something that I call my secondary boost. And my secondary boost is when I will reel in and the bait's been in the water, say, for 12 hours. If I don't want to change it, what I will do is I'll dip the hook bait into here about 100 times, 1, 2, 3, like a tea bag motion, and I will find that that takes on some of the complex and it keeps it nice and fresh. Well, to that I would add 4 or 5 drops of the garlic. Exactly the same with the hardhookers. I like these, the 24 mils, and what I will do is I will take out a few, put me 5 drops of garlic in, put that in the top, seal it, do the old shake and vat. And invariably exactly the same with the corky wafters, same carry on, few drops of garlic, shake and keep them there, and exactly the same with the 18 mil hardhookers. So in essence, what I'm doing is I'm supplementing the trigger ice with various different types of food signal. The main loose feed is the activator, liquid food, which also has the added advantage of garlic in there. And then of course, you've got the hook baits that I've mentioned, which have got the garlic signature as well. Give them a whirl and I'm absolutely convinced that your catch rate will go through the roof.